Good day, everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of the Vise Squad. My name is Ryan. I'm your Wednesday host. Hope you guys are all doing well and prepping up for summertime. It seems to be on its way. Maybe not in Calgary today, but we shall see. This week, before we get going, I'd like to thank our sponsor. That's the Anadrom's Fly Company. You can visit fishingandoutdoors.ca for Canadian residents and .net for our international and U.S. friends. And you can find all their fantastic gear under the specialty stores /sponsors tab on the website. Moving forward, I had tied this and posted it on my Instagram the other day, and it did really, really well. I was actually quite surprised at how many of my followers and everybody else hit the like button on it. I was really shocked and grateful. So I thought I'd tie it for you this week. We're just going to take a little break from the DC stuff, but yeah, so this is my bullet head caddis. It was sort of a pattern that I was lazy about it, and I didn't want to learn how to tie the butch caddis, and I thought that this was easier just tying the tips in the other way. So I did, and I've had some really, really good success with this pattern. Out fishing, it's always done quite well for me, so I'll tie it for you today. In the vise, we're going to put a size 14. This is a firehole hook. It's a firehole 419 size 14 competition. It's got a 2 extra wide gape and a light wire hook, which is nice. That extra gape really helps, I think. So we're going to use some 70 denier UTC, which I'm going to start about an eye width behind. Get some scissors here. Snip our tag out, and we'll run that thread just down to the bend and we'll leave it there. We're going to tie our hackle in next. This is a medium ginger hackle from Whiting. It's just off a pro grade cape. They're what I use. They work really well. I've never really found a bad one. So we'll tie that in. Should note, like with any hackle that I tie in, I trim the barbels off each side with my scissors instead of pulling them off, because you're less likely to get that hackle pulling out. For our dubbing today, we're going to use some superfine Wapsi dubbing, superfine dry fly dubbing. This is color olive. So we'll just take a little bit of that and make a nice little dubbing noodle. Always easier to add than take away with dubbing, so don't overdo it. So just start at the back, and we're just going to make a little taper moving forward. And we'll just put another little pinch on there. And one more little pinch just to finish it off. And we're just I'm gonna try and end that right about where my thread started. I like to do that, start my thread and use it sort of as gauge. Then I know where I want to finish. So we'll just finish with our thread in front of that body. Next, we'll take our hackle and we'll wind that forward. I like to use just sort of even spaced wraps, best as you can, and finish right in front of the body. And put a few turns, and we'll snip our hackle out of there. All right, now for the wing, I'm going to use this is some natural select cow elk from Nature's Spirit. Absolutely my favorite stuff to work with. It's just really good hair. So what I'm going to do is I've already stacked and cleaned the fines out, just so you don't hear me banging away on the desk here, but once it's stacked, I'm going to take it in my left hand and point the tips forward. And I want to make those tips where I tie it in more or less the length of that hook from the eye to the bend. And I'm going to take it and do one gathering wrap around just the hair, and then around the hook 2 or 3 times, pull it and let it flare, and then I'm going to work my way back to where the body is, and I'm going to I'll just grab them and straighten them out just a little bit here real quick. Make sure everything sort of stays on top. And you can see I got a few hackle fibers stuck in there, but we can get them out after. So then I just put some nice tight binding wraps in there and just sort of lash that all down. And I'm going to take all the butts in one hand and I'm going to come in with my scissors nice and tight and snip them out. And if you think they're just a little long, go in and just trim them out. I'm going to grab those few little barbels of hackle that are stuck in there. Next, I'm just going to run my thread through the butts a little bit just to really help lock all that down in there, and we'll leave it there against where the body is. Next, I'm going to take that wing, I'm going to fold it backwards, and you want to be just past the back end, which we are. Could have been just maybe a touch longer, but it's all preference. And with holding it in our left hand, I'm going to grab that with the thread and put a few good tight turns in there like that, and the wing should flare just a little bit, sort of splay out the sides just a little bit like so. Now you could leave it like that and it would fish just fine. What I like to do is add some rubber legs on the side because rubber legs make everything better. So I've been told. So I've taken, these are some brown and black, I believe is what they are, brown and black centipede legs from Montana Fly Company, size medium. And I've just cut them, I've just cut two sort of 1-inch pieces. And we'll tie it on one side, grab the other one and tie it on the other side. And when I tie them in, I kind of like to keep them level with where the hair has folded over on the head. It seems to help sort of keep them in place better. And a couple nice tight wraps, and we'll grab our whip finish tool. I'll put a few turns in that. I'm going to do it twice just because that's how I like to do these. I'm going to snip our thread out like so. And then, like with any caddis fly that I tie, I'm going to come in here and just trim those bottom hackles out. And that'll really let it ride nice on the water. Right down on top of that film. Like so. And then to finish, I can see I got just a couple fibers stuck in there. There we go. What I do to finish these flies is I grab some Solar's Bone Dry. And I put just a little dot on the top of those threads, and then I like to get it all on the bottom side there. It gives it a little shiny and definitely will help keep that fly together. And we'll cure that up. All right, so that's my bullet head caddis is what I call it. It may go by another name somewhere else, but that's what I call them. And I quite like them, and they do fish quite well, in my experience anyway. Even that leg up just a bit. All right, that's it. And again, to thank our sponsor, that's the Anadramas Fly Company. We really do appreciate everything you guys do for us, and Rick as well. You're as busy as you are, you sure keep us rolling. Even though haven't been rolling lately, we've been just so stinking busy. But at any rate, thanks a bunch. And again, the store address is fishingandoutdoors.ca for Canadian residents and .net for the US and international friends. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it. You won't miss any upcoming content. Until next week, everyone, thanks a bunch.